Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. So, another top 10. This one is the top yellow 5-star heroes. I've been trying to make this video for a while now, and I just haven't gotten around to it. Part of it is me being lazy, but yellow 5 stars are difficult to rate because there are so many good yellow 5 stars. But I tried my best, and these are, in my opinion, the top 10 best heroes in order. And, before I go into it, if you like this content, please give a like. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And let me know what your thoughts are. All right, let's get into it. At number 10, we have Lolo. So he's one of the lunar heroes. At fast speed, he deals 605% damage to the target and boosts the caster health by 50% of damage dealt. So his special actually deals a lot of damage, but that's not why he's on the list. He is very special because of his passive ability, which is it disables minions. And I remember when Laho first came in, it was when the minion heroes were the meta. Especially with M&M and Water Pipe, they were all over the top teams, and these lunar heroes came in and destroyed these minions because once you put them in, and this is what's good about them, is you just put them in your team and they work. You don't have to trigger a special for them to trigger their ability. They're just there, and Water Pipe becomes a punching bag. Like, he just spawns these weak minions that don't do anything. Other heroes like Lady of the Lake and, even future hero that are gonna come into the game, if they have minions with abilities, these heroes are always going to be valuable. And in my opinion, this one is better than the red one because that one is, Red Bunny is average. This one is fast, deals a lot of damage, and it can be a sniper. So at offense, I think that's where he's best used. He's a niche hero, and you could use him as an offense hero too. So best to carry this hero when you have a team that has a lot of minions, or at least a team that has minions with abilities such as Water Pipe, which can be annoying. And his damage is pretty good. On defense, he's not bad, but there are a lot of heroes that are better than him. And honestly, sniper heroes on defense, if they only cause damage, they might not be that good. You need heroes that do a lot of damage to all heroes. But he's not bad as a defense. What about Titans? So in Titans, he's actually pretty decent. He deals a lot of damage to the Titans, and his attack stats are not bad. So he's decent. On events, he's not good. You need heroes that attack more than one target. Sniper heroes on events typically don't do well unless they have other abilities too. So that's for number 10. At number 9, we'll have Cleo. So Cleopatra at average speed, she recovers 65% health for all allies, and all allies are immune to new status ailment for 3 turns. And each attempted status ailment, they recover an additional 205. Now, this is not boosted health, so this is regular health, but it's still a lot of healing. 65%, especially if you have fiends on you, you'll clear out these fiends and you'll probably heal for full. So Cleo is annoying, and you know how I feel about immunity to new status ailments. It's one of the best defensive abilities that a hero can have. On top of all of this, she has the passive, or the sun passive, which has a 60% chance to boost health of all allies by 10% and cleanses the last cleansable. So she really has everything. And if you fire her off and her special or the passive is fired off, you'll definitely get boosted health for everyone on your team. And on top of that, the status ailment immunity, your hero becomes very hard to kill. She is a really good hero. On offense, she's really good. I think that's where she's best used. On defense, she's very good as well. You know, she has special situation where you can use her on defense, but you know, there are a lot of times that you see Cleo on defense, and she does really well, especially if she gets to fire off, and especially on Rush War, where you see a lot of mana control, and she just shuts everything down. So on defense, she's good in special situations. On Titan events, she's not very useful. At number 8, I have the second costume of Leonidas. At average speed, he deals 240% damage to all enemies. He reduces the mana of all enemies by 10%. And in addition, all enemies get minus 34 defense, 34% defense for 3 turns, and against dark character, this increases by 2 turns and becomes uncleansable. So costume to Leonidas is very good. His special is very destructive when it goes off, and causes a lot of damage. Along with the defense down, if you have another hero that can take advantage of that, where they hit all, like Piniolite or Queen go along, that can cause a lot of damage and nearly kills everyone, if not kill most of the heroes if they're not second limit broken or whatever. You know, on offense, he is awesome. You have to remember that he's one of the Season 1 families, so he gets the superior talent, and on top of this, he gets the costume stat bonuses, which is insane. And to top all of this off, he gets the Season 1 bonus as well. And if you pair him with another Season 1, he gets more of attack, defense, and all of that. So he is an awesome hero on offense. And defense, he is awesome as well, especially as a tank position. Nothing more annoying than, you know, dumping tiles, getting your special, and then charging him up. And then he would reduce that 10% mana, and you have to do another match to get your special again. And by that time, the other heroes charge their special, and they fire off and wipe off your whole team. So you have to be careful against him on defense. He's really good on defense as well. On Titan, I think the second costume is better than the third costume, because the defense down is higher, but you know, the second costume is more of a elemental defense down. It's not a defense down. So a lot of heroes are better than him in defense down against Titans, such as Zakina is one example. But you know, he can be an alternative if you don't have anyone else. On events, he's actually pretty good. He's not bad. He does a lot of damage along with defense down. There are better heroes than him for events, but he can be a nice alternative option if you don't have any other one. So awesome hero. He gets number 8. At number 7, I have Ojima. So he's one of the Bard family. At fast speed, he destroys all minions from all enemies, then deals 275% damage to all enemies, and deals a 30% damage to all enemies for each minion destroyed. And lastly, all enemies get minus 7% mana gen for each destroyed minion. Ojima is the best minion killer hero in the whole game. His special is so powerful against minion. It's just ridiculous. If he fires off when the team is full of minion, the match is over, because they're not going to be able to charge the special. Everyone will become too slow to charge up their special. On top of this, they get a huge amount of damage. You know, to top all of that, you know, deals additional damage and reduces mana gen. And he's one of my favorite families, which is the Bard hero. The Bard hero, you know, is now becoming one of the best families in the whole game, and that is because of their 5% mana gen. And you know, this is really important because it pushes heroes to charge up in one less tiles, especially fast heroes with costumes. When these costumes come in with 5%, And if those heroes have, on top of this, one of those classes that has the emblem node where you can charge them up 4%, such as the monk, druid, or sorcerer, then you can charge up these fast heroes in 6 tiles. It'll become very fast. One example of this is Lepiota. So if you have her costume and you level up the original Lepiota with the emblem node, you can charge her up in very fast. Other examples are Ruby, which she doesn't have the emblem node, but with a bard hero, she can charge up first charge in 4 tiles. So Ojima is just an awesome hero all around. On offense, he's really good, especially if you take him against minions. On defense, he's awesome as well. He hits all with a lot of damage, and especially if you put him on minion war as defense, he becomes very destructive. On events and Titans, though, he's not that good. There are a lot of heroes that are better than him. So Ojima, awesome hero. If you have him, level him up. At number 6, we have Queen Guowang. So she's part of the Journey family, which is the same portal as the War of Three Kingdoms. She, at average speed, deals 330% damage to all enemies. Her second effects include all allies getting 10% mana for every time an enemy uses their special skills for 4 turns. And then her third effect is she gets Vengeance for 4 turns. And if this is dispelled by the enemy, then all enemies get 525 damage. So Queen Guowang, very strong hero, deals a lot of damage. If you pair her with second costume of Leo, she almost obliterates the whole enemy team. On offense, she is very strong. She deals tons of damage. The only downside is she's an average hero. And honestly, the second skill that she has, where she charges up the mana for all allies, might not be used as much on offense as in defense, but it's still a very good ability. And then the third effect just depends on the enemy if they have a dispeller or not, so it might not be used as much as it would be on defense. On defense, this is where she's best used. She is one of the top tanks in the game. She just deals a lot of damage and makes the enemy charges up pretty fast, especially if you fire off a lot of specials. And on top of that, you can't dispel her, otherwise you're going to get tons of damage as well. So she can be really annoying when she fires off. And as you all know, on defense, enemy heroes cause more damage than on offense. So every time she fires off, I feel like the game is going to be over if you don't charge up your heroes at the same time. So very awesome hero. On Titans, might not be as good, and on events, she might be useful as an alternative to other heroes. So she's not bad on events. At number 5, we have Reese. So he's one of the other Bard member family, which I already talked about, and how this family is one of the strongest families in the game. At fast speed, he heals all allies by 320. This can become boosted health. He changes the yellow tile so they can gain you more mana when you match them. He increases the attack by 34%, an additional 3% per holy shield. And he cleanses status ailment from all allies. Now, this is a lot of effect for a fast hero. Now, his healing is not much. 320 doesn't sound much, but the fact that he cleanses and alters the holy shield and increases attack just compensates for all of that. Now, with the boosted mana for shield for the tiles, that makes yellow fast heroes very fast, and it can reduce the amount of tiles needed to charge for average, slow, and very slow. So once you get him fired, you can bet you can fire your heroes again and less tiles. On offense, he's very strong. Honestly, you can take him for multiple reasons. To boost up your allies, attack, health, mana. and with the Bard bonus as well, you can charge up other heroes' mana. So he is very powerful on offense. And honestly, any hero that can cleanse status ailment is a powerful hero. On defense, he's good. On defense, he has the opposite effect on yellow tiles, so that the enemy can charge up their yellow heroes on less tiles, or more tiles, I mean. So he's not bad on defense. It's just you have to pair him with the right heroes, but he's not as powerful as the other heroes when it comes to defense. On Titans, you can boost your attack on allies if you don't have any other alternative, but there are a lot of heroes that are better than him in doing that. On events, he's not that good. There are a lot of heroes that are better than him as well. At number 4, we have Ferdinand. So he's one of the pet family members. He, at average speed, fires off 4 effects. First of all, he cleanses, and then shares receive damage for 4 turns, and reflects status ailment 4 turns, and regenerates 732 HP over 4 turns. And on top of this, he has his pet passive, where he gains 5% health and mana for each minion that spawned on him, and he gives 85% damage to the enemy to the fiend spawned to the enemy. So Ferdinand is one of the most annoying heroes in the game, and I would say Ferdinand is an overpowered hero. And one big reason why he's overpowered is he cleanses first and then does all of his effect, which is very, very annoying. So if you think of a hero that has some similarity to him, I think of Hawthorne. So Hawthorne does the status ailment reflect, and he heals and boosts health along with the mana gen. But the thing about Hawthorne is it doesn't cleanse. And if you have a hero that prevents buffs, such as Panther or Guardian Panther, the costume one, if you fire off costume Panther before Hawthorne fires, then Hawthorne becomes just a tile dump, because he's not going to give the buffs to any of his team. But Ferdinand, when he fires off and you hit them with Panther first, he's going to cleanse that first and then does his buff. So no matter what you do, he's going to give his buffs to all of his allies. And once he gets that buff, oh my god, it's very hard to deal with. You can't kill anyone unless you have a Dispeller. So he's very annoying when you face him on defense. So on offense, he's still an awesome hero. Only downside is he's average, but once you get him fired off, your team becomes very hard to kill, and you'll have plenty of time to charge up your other heroes and kill the enemy team. So he's awesome at offense, and on defense, he is very annoying when he is there and fires off his special. Some people, I saw them use him on tank, on flank, and I have mixed feeling about him being on tank, just because as tank you just tile dump him until you get your Dispeller, but as flank, you have a tank which causes damage, so when he gets fired off in flank, the enemy team becomes a little bit hard to kill. So he's an awesome hero on defense. On events and Mythic Titans, he's not good. So Ferdinand, overpowered hero, deserves number 4 spot. At number 3, we have Costume Guardian Gazelle. He's one of the Guardian family members. At average speed, he removes all status effects from all allies, whether dispellable or undispellable. He recovers 48% health for all allies, and for 4 turns, all of your allies, except the caster, get 150% attack, reduces all received damage by 30%, and gives status immunity effect to all allies. I could not believe that they released Costume Guardian Gazelle the way that they did. He's just one of the overpowered heroes and one of the strongest heroes in the game. Now, there is a downside to him, and that is if he dies, All of the other allies receive 100 damage, which is nothing, but they lose 100% mana, which is, kind of a high risk, high reward. But his costume is very powerful and such an upgrade from his original Guardian Gazelle, in that this one heals a lot instantly, other than the original one, which healed over time, and the original one healed over time just for the hero. So I think the original form was more balanced. This one is overpowered, and to top all of this off, he's a fighter class, so he can revive if he dies. And just think about it, he can revive when his special is full, and then he can heal up again. So he is very powerful. The amount of attack he gives, and the fact that he prevents status ailment for all allies and cleanses everything, that is just, he combines everything. He's just an awesome hero. I don't know if he or she, I see long hair, so I'm assuming it's a she. So she's just a very powerful and overpowered hero the way she is now. On offense is where she's best used. Again, if you get her fired off, and you have another yellow heroes, you can bet you're winning the game, because the damage they deal is going to be just so powerful. And I'm not talking about just special, even tile damage. It becomes really, really powerful, especially if you have critical damage. It just destroys the enemy. On defense, I don't think Guardian Gazelle is good on defense. Now, the costume one might be decent, but it comes to that point where it's a high risk, high reward. And honestly, the fact that he loses all the enemy's mana when she dies, makes her a little bit vulnerable on defense. It might not be the best option. On Mythic Titan at events, she is an awesome hero, especially on Mythic Titan. She just boosts up all of your allies' attack and just melts the Mythic Titan away. So she's awesome, and she's one of the best yellow heroes for Titans. And on events, she's also awesome. She boosts up the health and attack for everyone, and makes it more survivable. So she is an all-around really, really, really good hero, and overpowered, in my opinion. And for that, she deserves the number 3 spot. At number 2, we have 2 heroes. And I think we all saw those 2 heroes at the top of the list. And those 2 heroes are Anne and Job. And I put them both of them on the same ranking, because they kind of do the same thing, but not. They're both a high damage dealers. So I'll start out with Anne. She deals 550% damage to the target, and then bounces around to heroes with a health more than 50%, with the attack getting less and less. And then she plants a bomb in every one hero that she attacks. And those heroes get a debuff once they fire off their special, with decreased attack, defense, and mana gen. And on top of this, she's a fighter class, so she can revive, which is a really good advantage. Now, Anne is a top tier hero, and on attack, on defense, she's one of the best heroes in the game. Especially on attack, she deals a lot of damage, and bounces around to other enemies. And with an elemental defense down, she just obliterates a lot of the enemies. On defense, she's used to be one of the top tier heroes. If anything, if she was the top tier hero, or the best hero on defense. And now there are heroes that are better than her, but she's still a top tier hero on as a tank, because of her fighter class and the amount of damage that she deals. And you'll see her in top tier alliances on tank, or as a flank, or even wing. She works anywhere. On Mythic Titan, she deals a lot of damage. She's pretty good. There are other heroes that are better than her. And on events, she might not be the best, because her attack gets less and less with each attack. But she's decent on events. Now, that's it for her. The other one is Jove. So Jove is a masked family, and he spawns a minion, and that minion, if if the minion dies, Jove gets dispelled from any debuff that he gets. He deals 30% damage to the target and then chains, or he hits everyone else with a minor damage, and then he decreases healing for 65% for everyone for 3 turns, and also reduces mana gains from special skills by 75% for 3 turns. Now, again, Jove is a top tier hero. He's really good on offense and just decimates the enemy, especially if you pair him. One of my favorite pairing in the game is Jove and Anne. You fire off Anne and then you finish them off with Jove, and typically at fast speed, that's just ridiculous. Like, both of those heroes are overpowered, to be honest with you. Now, on defense, he's one of the best heroes in the game. As a tank, he can work as flank or wing too. The advantage with him, well, before I talk about that, on Mythic Titan, he's pretty good too and dishes out a lot of damage. His attack stats are high, so he's going to deal a lot of damage. And on events, he's good too. There are a bit better heroes than him, but he's pretty good. It's not bad. Now, between the two, even though they deal a lot of damage, I think one of them is better than the other. I think Jove is better than Anne, to be honest, and for 2 reasons. One of them is Jove will attack everyone, no matter what, unless the enemy has taunt, obviously, but he'll attack every one of the enemy. And even though at a lesser attack special, he's guaranteed to get everyone else. And on top of this, he has the reduced healing, so the enemy is very hard to recover from that after they get hit like that. And if he's on defense, on tank, and he hits you with that special, it deals even more damage, and you can't heal. So the other heroes are going to charge up their specials, and they're going to finish you off, and that's really annoying. And the problem with her is that she has to hit the hero that has more than 50% health in the beginning, so that her hit can chain through. And that's not a guarantee on defense. She can hit the hero that's less than 50%, and you're not going to get the full benefit from her. And I've had situation on offense where I had to hit the hero that's less than 50%, and I felt like I wasted a special. The other thing is her bond that she plans for everyone. I don't think it's as good as it's advertised here, because she's gonna plan those bombs, and then you can either cleanse them, or even if you don't, you're gonna fire off your specials at full power, which usually is what you want. And then these heroes kind of serve their purpose when they fire off their special at full power. Now, if he does that before they fire off his special, she'd be too overpowered, especially at fast speed. But for those 2 reasons, I think Jove is better than Anne. Nevertheless, both of them are tier 1 heroes, or tier A hero, or whatever you want to call it. Now, if I had to suggest a nerf for both of them, so Jove, I would make it a chain through, whereas if he kills a hero on the first attack, it doesn't chain through. And if a hero is dead between other heroes, it doesn't chain through all heroes. I think that would be a fair nerf. And then for Anne, the way I would nerf her is, after the first attack, the bounce around of the other attacks should be random. It should not be targeted, where now it automatically bounces around to the heroes with health above 50%, so it's guaranteed to hit everyone until it reaches out the hero with less than 50%, the last one. It should be random, and that's the way I would nerf Anne. But anyway, that's at number 2 for both of those. So the top yellow 5-star hero is Erling Shen, and I know people are surprised it's not Anne or Jove, but I think Erling Shen is so overpowered that he beats both of them, and I'll tell you why in a bit. So he does 475% damage to the target and minor damage to nearby enemies, and he also reduces the attack of those targets to minus 48% for 3 turns, and if that attack is changed in any way, they would receive a 502 damage. So Erling Shen it deals a lot of damage, even though his attacks might seem like less than Ann and Job. I promise you, don't get fooled by that. He can obliterate the whole side, and the amount of combinations that you can take with him is just ridiculous. So if you have him and Annabelle, which dispels everyone, the enemy is gonna get the buff, not the buff, the damage once she cleanses everyone. If you have a hero that overrides his attack down with another attack down, like Narcissa or even Kirill, they're still gonna get the 502 damage. And did I mention that he's a fighter class? So he can revive on top of all of this. And he is the only hero in the game that if you bring two of them, he can obliterate the whole side consistently. So if you fire him off, and if you have another Erling Shen and you fire him off at the same three heroes, they'll die instantly. So that's just a lot of damage on top of the 502 damage that they receive. So on offense, he's pretty good if you pair him with the right amount of heroes. And the last part about him is the attack down. 48% is a lot of attack down. So it's just gonna make the enemy head not as strong, and you're gonna survive. So he's very good, and all of that at fast speed is just too overpowered. On defense, he's, in my opinion, the top tier, the best hero in the game. Now, I know, he's one of the hit three, so he might not hit three targets, but you better bet the two targets he hits, even if he doesn't hit three targets, they're most likely they're gonna die, because you can't do anything. You can't cleanse, you can't do anything. Like, if you need to heal without cleansing that effect, because the damage is gonna happen before you cleanse. And that's what's strong about it. So if you have a hero that's on, has 100 hit points, and you heal him up or cleanse him, the cleanse doesn't happen first. The heal doesn't happen first. The cleanse happens first, and then the hero's gonna get damage and die before he heals. So he's just too powerful in defense as tank, and on top of this with the fighter class, it just makes him really frustrating on defense. And one of the most frustrating thing in the game, especially when he's in defense, is on wars, especially on Equalizer, which I think, in my opinion, it's a bug. People have been telling me, like, this is how the card reads, but really it should be just regarded as a bug. When he fires off and then the Equalizer comes, you still get damage. Like, I don't understand why they wouldn't change that. Like, that should be removed. Like, once that Equalizer happens, you should not get that damage from the special. I don't care how the card reads. Like, it's just too powerful. And, that makes him, honestly, the best defense. Especially in the Equalizer, he's the best defense in the game. Or best tank, I should say. And even in other wars, he's still really good and really powerful. And if you pair him with, I've seen a lot of people pair him with Narcissa. So Narcissa gives the boosted defense, and then, he would fire off, and then Narcissa would fire off at fast speed, and she, the 502 damage is going to happen on top of all the damage they're getting. And it just is going to kill the heroes that it hits. It's basically as simple as that. So he's definitely the best defense in the game, in my opinion. On Mythic Titan and events, he's not as good, but he's still decent. There are other heroes that are better than him. So that concludes our top 10 5 yellow star. Now I realize these list changes over time because other heroes comes in and other heroes get nerfed or whatever. The only advice I'm going to give you is, if you have any of those heroes, or you're planning to get them, or you want to get them, I would advise you not to do that now, just because of that huge balance update, and nearly all the heroes in this list are going to get nerfed. So if you have these heroes, obviously this advice doesn't apply to people who already ascended them and limit broke them, but if you have these heroes and you have not leveled them, or you're planning to summon them when the portal comes in, I would suggest that you wait until the nerfs kind of settle down, and we'll see what happens, what kind of nerfs, before you get those heroes. So with that, I bid you farewell. If you like this content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell me what other heroes you would suggest putting on the list, and if you think other heroes should be ranked higher. I'll see you in the next one.